What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Adam Rob. It's been a while, like 4 weeks, I think. A solid month of no Thirsty Thursdays, but I am back on the Thirsty Thursday train, making more videos for you guys, talking about random stuff going on in the world, trying to stay out of the politics, just because that's not what the show's about. We're gonna be talking about some cool stuff, some new music coming out, new phones, newness, you know what I'm saying? That new hotness, like Will Smith.
Old and busted, new hotness.
But no, I have been trying to be better with my diet. Been drinking a lot of cold pressed juices, making my own, buying some, drinking a lot of kombucha, trying to get rid of this stupid gout. Still kind of, it's lingering, but what are you gonna do? I got today some Synergy raw kombucha. And it's the gingerberry, which is really good. I've had this actually before. I really love me some kombucha, and you know who makes a really good kombucha? It's our boy, Ethan Amarine. This is the mention. I gotta mention it. But he hasn't made some in a while, so I'm hoping that he gets back on the kombucha train. And so, we're gonna pop this open. Hopefully I don't spill it. I was shaking it. I shook it slightly just to get some of the stuff mixed around in there, and I always end up making a mess. Okay, hold on. I want to let some of those bubbles get out of there. Come on now. Don't do me dirty. Alright. We're doing pretty good. Oh man. Look at that. There's no way to mess that pour up. I'm gonna put a little cap back on there. Save them bubbles, you know what I'm saying? I love the smell of this, man. Some people do not like kombucha, and at first I don't think I really did. Like, it was a little too vinegary for me, but I definitely like. It's somewhat of an acquired taste, but this one is one of my favorites because it's got that black. I think they make it with blueberries and ginger. Yep. Get that little ginger kick going on, because I'm a ginger. And this is definitely one of the more mellow kombuchas that Synergy makes. And you can find this really anywhere, like any health food store. It's like a pretty common kombucha. You can buy like a big, like 2-liter bottle of it. And they're made of glass. I like reuse these. Now let's get into the episode. We are talking about a lot today. First off, iPhone 12 was released this month. And they kind of did a whole series of them like they usually do, but they switched it up a little bit. They have the iPhone 12 mini, which is a little bit smaller, and they're kind of harkening back to, I think, the iPhone 5 days where it had the flat, like the rounded corners, and you could kind of stand it up. So I kind of like that design. I like the feel of it, and it was a really good design. So they're kind of bringing that back. They have some crazy new cameras in their iPhone 12. The big one, iPhone 12 Pro Max. I hope I'm saying that right. It's a lot. They're getting longer with these names. And I actually got a confession. I haven't really gone too in depth with these phones. A lot of cool stuff with iPhones. The cameras are looking amazing. I think it's the iPhone Pro Max has LiDAR in it now. So the depth of field that you can get from those cameras, especially I think potentially in video mode, is going to be phenomenal. Like, you can get like some really cinematic footage from these new iPhones. They look incredible. All the reviews I've seen of them so far have been really cool. So a lot of cool stuff going on with that. Also, we have Dexter coming back. Not the cartoon. We're talking about the murderer, the serial killer that took everybody's attention back in, like, what was it? I don't even know what year those came out. But I binged that show over and over and over again. I even sampled some of it in like an early mixtape I made. It was called Sins of the Father. It's a good song. You can go check it out. I don't even know where to find it anymore. Just look it up. Sins of the I don't know. Maybe that won't. I'll put a link somewhere, maybe. If you want to go check it out, you can. It's not the greatest, but it's fun. It's a good little mixtape. They're following it up with a new season. It's gonna be 10 episodes. A lot of people, it's given them hope, and I hope it's not false hope, because that would be just wrong and cruel and unusual. Because it kind of left on a very ambiguous note. It was very lackluster ending to a show. To be honest, it kind of just left everybody being like, what? Spoiler alert, at the end of the show, Dexter just ends up forming a new life as like a lumberjack, working in a lumber yard, working with logs, having a really fake looking beard. It was very disappointing. And so I hope that with this reboot or whatever it's going to be, I hope they kind of with El Camino, with Breaking Bad, they kind of finished it off even more. And I thought that was an awesome addition to the Breaking Bad series, because it kind of, you know, left everything out on the table. You see Jesse does get away, and it's pretty cool. It was a good episode. So I'm hoping this is kind of like that, where you get some closure, the fans get some kind of closure with this story we were following for years. That's what I'm hoping for. So, also some news for me. Moved into the office. It's been sweet. I love it there. Like, it's a great location. You know, me and Carson, we each kind of have our like separate areas, but I set up a nice table. I have a table that turns into a pool table and a ping pong table. And then you flip over the ping pong table and you got the podcasting table. And so we've been recording podcasts in there, still waiting on some microphones. I guess people have been buying microphones because podcasting is a good way to spend the quarantine time. They're all back ordered. So I'm making do with what I got. And I'm borrowing mics from friends. So, but everything else, I've been using the Rodecaster Pro. That thing is amazing. We did our first phone-in episode where we had a friend of ours from Pittsburgh call in, and it sounded really good. So I'm excited to see, you know, where everything goes with that. Trying to do 3 podcasts a week. We have the All Circles podcast, the Wedding Workflow podcast, which is all about weddings, and we're interviewing photographers, videographers, photo booth, caricature artists, etc. And then I'm starting one that's kind of like a sister podcast called The Creative Workflow. And so I'll be interviewing like artists and film photographers, people that are just into art in general. And then I also, a little sneak peek, my friend Dave Sherrill, he owns this place called Arrowhead down in Canton. Actually, it's where I bought this Polaroid camera from like when they first moved to Canton. And they sell a lot of cool vintage stuff. They sell records. They sell like hand knit stuff. And Dave Sherrill has been getting a little bit of notoriety lately with his art. So basically what he does is he takes like kind of not really generic, but just very plain art of like people hanging out in a meadow or like an ocean or something, and then he adds some kind of pop culture reference to it. So he'll put like a xenomorph from Alien, he'll put some TIE fighters and X-Wing fighters from Star Wars, he'll put people having like a lightsaber battle. And so I actually commissioned one that he was really wanting to do. It's huge, like it's pretty big, and it's a field with these two, I think it's a mom and a daughter walking through a field with like an umbrella, and he's gonna paint Godzilla fighting King Kong, which is going to be freaking sweet. And so I'm going to have him on the podcast once he's done with that. Yeah, man, I'm excited. It's going to be sweet. He's been like getting into like Newsweek, and I think it was Fox Cleveland interviewed him, which is super cool. So I just want to highlight all my friends that are into creative stuff and do creative things. And yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping for with the Creative Workflow podcast. We also have a few artists dropping albums very soon. First off, we have Kid Cudi. The Kid, the Cudi, the Cutter, whatever you want to call him. He is from Cleveland, you know, representing the Cleveland. He is putting out the long-awaited Man on the Moon 3, which is awesome, man. Like, it's been about 10 years since the Man on the Moon 2 was released. And so it's kind of a fitting, like, bookend to the decade to have some Kid Cudi. Oh man, it's gonna be sweet. I'm excited. And we actually talked about it on the All Circles podcast, but I've always been a big Kid Cudi fan. There's a couple albums that I just really don't care for. They're just they're okay. They're not his best work. But the last few that he's been working on with Kids See Ghosts, Passion, Pain, and Demon Slaying, he's getting back into that old school kind of Cudi with a new twist to it. So I'm excited to see what he does with that. We don't know when it's coming up. He released a teaser video about it recently, and it just said soon, coming soon. So soon can mean like next week. It can mean a month. It can mean 2021. Who knows? Also, we have Drake releasing a new album in the new year in January, and it's got a really great title. It's called Certified Lover Boy, which is a very Drake title for an album. And the promo video for that one was pretty dope too, because he kind of recreated all of the album covers that he's done over the years, and it was kind of a cool, like, interesting look on that. So I'm excited to see what that's like and see, you know, who the features are, who's on that thing, what kind of album is it gonna be. We also have Ariana Grande. She just released her title track, Positions, the music video on YouTube, and it's pretty sweet. It's got, you know, I've never been like a super big Ariana Grande fan, but it seems like she's got a good vibe on this album. It's coming out at the end of the month, October 30th, and so be on the lookout for that. It's gonna be a good time. I'm excited. I love new music. It's been a great year for new music for sure, and it's good to be able to know ending on this crazy year that has been 2020 with some decent, awesome, and maybe phenomenal music. This could be some great stuff out there. And then some podcasting news. Breaking news. Actually, it's not breaking. It's been like 2 or 3 weeks. But the Call Her Daddy saga continues with Sofia Franklyn. She is starting her own podcast, and she's recorded 2 episodes so far. It is called Sofia With An F, and she kind of digs a little bit into her side of the story. She doesn't really go super in depth though, which is kind of disappointing. I was looking for more like answers, but there's always going to be more podcasts coming from her, so we'll see. It seems like she's doing all right. She's in Utah with her parents. One of their guests, they call him MILF Hunter, which is a great name, and he doesn't like be called that anymore, I guess. I don't know, but he chose the Sofia side, which kind of like adds more layers to the whole thing. So it's a weird saga. I've been following it, so I'm gonna keep following it, see where it goes, see where that rabbit trail heads to. Also, we have an unexpected podcast coming from DJ Khaled. I think that was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. If I do say so myself. I'm not gonna do it again, but that was pretty good. Anyways, he started a podcast called The First One, which is, I don't know what he's referring to, but it's another one. And another way for DJ Khaled to do things, I guess. But he's interviewing some heavy hitters in the music world, like Lil Wayne, Big Sean, J Balvin, who also, on top of Travis Scott, also has his own like signature menu item at McDonald's. I just found that out today. I didn't know that. But some other rappers getting like, oh man, like their own like signature thing at McDonald's. Like Wendy's, you gotta get in on that, bro. Come on. And he's also interviewing like John Bon Jovi, which is pretty interesting. And it's exclusively on Amazon Music, which I never really considered to be a place for podcasts, but I'm definitely gonna have to listen to this podcast now because to me it sounds a little funny, but you never know. I mean, I feel like we get a lot of this like surface level when it comes to DJ Khaled, and so this might be a way to look behind the man behind the meme, you know? I don't know. Take a peek behind the meme. Is that a phrase? I don't know. So, well, that's all I got today. Hope you guys enjoy this episode. I'm hopefully going to get back on the train. Try to keep putting these out every week. It's always been a struggle, but you know, you got to get through the struggle. That's all I got to say. You know, there's one thing that we've learned from this year. It's that you got to push through. Just keep on keeping on until you can't keep on no more. So, thank you guys for joining me. This has been Thirsty Thursdays. We got some kombucha. Go be healthy out there. Drink a little kombucha. Do your gut some good. Help those whatever you call them. And until next week, cheers to you guys.